Kitzur Shulchan Aruch, the Abridged Code of Jewish Law, Chapter 90, Number 1. So firstly, just as an introduction, we're going to discuss things that are not technically forbidden on Shabbos. They are not a malacha. And again, the word malacha refers to the 39 specific creative activities that were used to build the Mishkan in the wilderness. They are the 39 forbidden activities we cannot do on Shabbos. But there are some activities that do not fall into the category of these 39, but we still can't do them on Shabbos because they're not in the spirit of Shabbos. So let's say, for an example, we're going to give an example later on in the chapter. You say to someone, a tradesman, handyman, can you come to my house tonight after Shabbos and change the light fitting? Now, this isn't a forbidden activity. You only spoke. You didn't change the light fitting. You didn't employ anyone. You didn't pay anyone. The person didn't travel with his tools, but you've prepared. On Shabbos, you've made these arrangements for after Shabbos. So it's not in the spirit of Shabbos. It takes away from Shabbos, and therefore we can't do it. So this isn't just one example. We're going to go through the halachas, through the laws over the next few weeks, and we'll have a better understanding of what we can and can't do. So number one, there are certain things that we are not allowed to do on Shabbos. Even though not only are they not a malacha, they're not one of the 39 forbidden creative activities, they're not even similar. And they are not something that's forbidden because it's going to bring you to the malacha. So even though they're not a malacha, they're not going to bring you to the malacha, we can't do them anyway. Why are we not allowed to do these activities? Because we have a verse that says, if you were refrained from doing your needs on my holy day, and the verse goes on, and we're going to quote it more as we go through the chapter. And then it also says, and if you honor it, meaning Shabbos, by not doing your own needs, right? Literally from pursuing your needs, or from speaking anything of your needs. Now, since this verse says that you'll honor the Shabbos by not doing your ways, your things, our sages teach us that the meaning of this verse is even simple things, besides example that I gave in the introduction of not hiring someone, taking care of your after Shabbos needs on Shabbos, but even on Shabbos itself, you don't walk on Shabbos the same way you walk during the week. What does that mean? The fichach, therefore, also Lawrence b'Shabbos. You don't run on Shabbos. During the week, we're running to meetings, we're running here, we're running there. On Shabbos, we could come. However, if you need to run to do a mitzvah, right, you need to catch the minyan, you're running a little bit late, or there's another mitzvah that needs to be done. Mutter lorotzen, you're allowed to run. We'll skip the brackets. And not only are you allowed to run to do a mitzvah, but if that's going to help you do the mitzvah better, or mitzvah lorotz, it's actually a mitzvah to run. But to run because for your own needs, I want to get here quicker, or I just want to go for a jog, that's we can't do. Base, number 2. And from the fact that the verse says, pursuing your needs, sages teach us the following. Your needs is what sometimes not allowed. Even if it's not doing a malacha, it's not doing one of these 39 creative activities that we can't do on Shabbos. Good going, for example. You review your belongings. You know, let's say, for example, you start looking in the pantry because you're planning to go to Costco tomorrow on Sunday. And Shabbos, start looking through, oh, I need more plates. I need more plastic spoons. Right? You can't do that because you're looking at your needs to see what's missing. So also, this is something we can't do. Another example. You can't start walking around town to find a ship that's for hire, or a carriage, or workers, or horse, or whatever else we need. So to go for a Shabbos afternoon stroll, because you want to enjoy the stroll as a way of enjoying Shabbos afternoon, it's allowed. But if the purpose of the stroll is to help you do something after Shabbos, you know, I'm going to look around and see, go for a walk, see which houses are for sale, so I can call them right after Shabbos. Or I'm going to see, walk past the car yards and see which cars, you know, see which one has the type of car I'm looking for. Now, even though you're only walking on Shabbos, you're only looking, you're not doing any of the business, but since it's all for the sake of an after Shabbos activity, an activity that you cannot do on Shabbos, and you're going to it after Shabbos, we're not allowed to even go for this stroll with this purpose in mind. Now, when can you not do it? This is if it's recognizable that that's why you're doing it. If it's not recognizable, so it looks like you're doing an afternoon stroll, then it's not the same situation. But if you're walking to protect your property or another Jew's property, then it's allowed. So let's say, for an example, you're going to check on your cow in the field. Now, normally we don't do cow activities on Shabbos, but you need to just check that it's you know, the gate staying closed properly and the cow's not going to disappear. Gimel, number 3. Also the Hakshich al Tuchum. So let's give an introduction here. On Shabbos, there's a concept called Tuchum. Tuchum is the limit that you're allowed to walk outside of the town limits, city limits. Now, in most big cities today, you can walk for 3 days and there's houses. You just keep walking. You know, that's, you know, I live in Phoenix. Phoenix is a very large city. You could walk the whole Shabbos and Sunday, Monday as well, and you'll just keep having habitat. No, it might technically move from the city of Phoenix to the city of Scottsdale or something like that. But since it's all one continuous inhabited area, and that's commercial as well as residential, then it's considered for this purpose as all one city, one place. But if you live in a small village or a farm or somewhere, and you go outside the city limits, meaning the houses are now more than about 40 yards apart, then you're only allowed to travel, you can only walk past the city limits, an area called the Tchum. The Tchum is approximately 2/3 of a mile. So let's say a person wants to go somewhere to do something after Shabbos. So he can't start walking to the Tchum and wait there until Shabbos ends and then keep going. So that's what it says. You're not allowed to literally get dark on the Tchum. In other words, you walk to the limit that you can do and you stay there till Shabbos is finished. So you leave home an hour before Shabbos, however far away you live, and you go to the limit you're allowed to go and you stay there and Shabbos finishes and then you keep going. This means you can't travel to the edge of how far you're allowed to go on Shabbos. like pachas or a bit less. And you wait there until it gets dark. In order to hasten your journey, you're just taking an hour off your trip, your post-Shabbos trip, because you did part of it on Shabbos. You can't do that. Because since you keep going, traveling on after Shabbos finish, so it's obvious that why did you walk to this point while it was Shabbos? In order to save time after Shabbos. Now, the davka, now this is only if you are traveling there to do something you can't do on Shabbos. You want to do it after Shabbos, something you can't do on Shabbos. You're going, for example, to hire workers. So the workers don't live in the Jewish area, the workers you need. So you walk to the edge of town, past the edge of town to the Tchum, this border, and you wait there till it gets dark, and then you keep going and you hire the workers. So you've got to hire the workers an hour earlier because you walked part of the way on Shabbos. This loish peiros, or you did it in order to harvest produce, peiros and muksin, or to bring produce from a storage area, which leaving them made the muksa. Because you can't do these things on Shabbos. You can't hire workers on Shabbos. You can't harvest grain on produce on Shabbos. So on Shabbos, you've traveled in order to hasten the ability to make earlier, bring forward the ability to do something you're not allowed to do on Shabbos. And this is forbidden. But you can go to the edge to do something, and wait there till Shabbos is dark, to do something that you're allowed to do on Shabbos. For example, to bring in your animal. So you have your cow, your dog, whatever it happens to be, your pet dragon, and it's traveled past the Tchum. It went walking away. Now you can't bring it in on Shabbos because it's gone too far. But you can wait to the limit you're allowed to go in order to get the animal earlier. Why? Because if the houses would have been built up, in other words, if the city limits didn't end, there were still houses there. They were within 70 amas of each other. An amma again is from the bottom of the elbow to the top of the finger. So 70 amas, approximately 40 yards. So if the area was built up to the point where the animal was, then you would be allowed to bring it in on Shabbos. So bringing the animal per se is not the problem. It's a side issue why you can't get this animal, and that it's gone too far, further than you're allowed to go on Shabbos. So since you're going to wait at the limit to do something you're technically allowed to do on Shabbos, then it's allowed to do so. Only to do something that you're not allowed to do on Shabbos. Likewise, to bring in produce that's already been picked. Because if there would have been fence the whole way, let's say it was a big wall around the town and wherever your produce is, then you would be allowed to bring it.